It's an old intro. Can I hear myself? Try testing mic.
I hear you.
Testing.
Okay. Trey, are you close to your phone right now?
Yeah, it's right here. Do you know if the stream can hear us right now?
No, it can't. But it'll record it. It's fine. $14, $13.
Welcome back to the Dynamite Sports Podcast. Across the table from me is Trey, our high school athlete. Next to me is Dad, and today Tyler is off. I am Noah Vassallo. Welcome back.
It's great to be back.
It's tournament time. It's March.
It
So
definitely is.
Madness.
So,
Absolute.
with that, we're going to give some predictions today.
So, well, looking at this tournament, to me, in my opinion, in the way that I'm looking at it, I feel like this is the first year that really NIL is starting to affect my opinion of the tournament. I see a great separation between the power teams, the Power 5 teams, the teams that are top seeds, and the lessers, the teams from the smaller conferences. And usually that's what makes the tournament exciting. So, I'm not predicting a lot of upsets in my own personal bracket because I feel like there is such a separation between the blue bloods, the teams that are well known for being outstanding and having the best athletes, and those teams that are up and coming that usually shock you and give you those fun moments in the tournament. I'm hoping that's not the case, but that's just my own personal take right now.
All right. Good take, Dad. Who do you have in your Final Four this season?
Well, because of that, I have very few upsets in my bracket, and I have all 4 number 1 seeds, which is I know never happens and probably won't happen, but I have a hard time going against them right now. Florida, Houston, Duke, and Auburn.
Yeah. For me personally, I really like some of these upset teams. UC San Diego, they played a great regular season.
I have them my Cinderella.
And they had a fantastic 74% shooting from the free throw line. So I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be able to beat Michigan. And I think that's their 5th seed in their
If my friend
section.
Davis Dell is listening, he'll take high offense.
And I personally don't have them in the bracket beating Texas A&M, but I think that they could. And personally, I would love that. Other than that, I see Drake taking their first round game against Missouri. I do see an upset in the Sweet 16, not Sweet 16. Sweet 16. Kansas over St. John's, who is a 2nd seed right now. But, I think Tennessee is fantastic. So that's why they're in my Final Four. My Final Four is Michigan State versus Florida and Duke versus Tennessee.
Whoa. Auburn doesn't make the Final Four?
Nope.
Wow.
I don't think so. But that SEC is going to run this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They ran the regular season. They ran it all. So why won't they be? I mean, fantastic job from the SEC this year.
That's where all the teams are, and that's part of my argument. I was shocked to see how few teams the ACC got into the tournament because the ACC is typically one of the stronger conferences for tournament turnout. And so when you're looking at the SEC getting, I think, did they get up like double
14.
digits? 14 teams. 14 teams in the tournament. That's just absolutely
NCAA
unheard of.
record.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, you got to think that they've added Oklahoma and Texas to a conference that already got a lot of bids, and now you've added those two teams. It's just there's a lot of lack of balance, and I hope that I'm wrong, because what makes the tournament so exciting are those lower seeded teams, those mid majors.
So I believe that the SEC is gonna go far. I have Auburn, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee in my Final Four. Full SEC Final Four.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have
Yeah, you-
Auburn winning it all.
Yeah. Go ahead and give your championship.
What?
So you have Auburn taking over Florida.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Who's
gonna be
playing them?
Alabama.
Whoa! Alabama beats Tennessee. That's crazy. Crazy takes from Trey today.
It's gonna be an iron.
We're missing Tyler, so Trey's got to be the take man on basketball. I think that's what that
Iron
is.
Bowl NCAA championship.
Alabama Auburn.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I don't have too many upsets in here besides, the Final Four. I have Alabama overtaking Duke. I have Tennessee overtaking Houston,
Yeah.
which might be crazy, but
Yeah. It's okay.
I have Liberty over Oregon.
Really?
Yeah,
I
Liberty
think
really good.
I can see that. So
That's about it.
that's good takes right there, Trey.
Thank you.
Thank you. For me personally, I have our hometown Gators taking home their championship, but I do see Cooper Flag taking them on in the finals right there. They played some fantastic ball, but geez, this Florida team, I just feel something. The 2006, 2007, when I wasn't born yet, I can feel it. That time just before I was alive, that time that my dad talks about before I was there, and just Florida was the best, man. Like, I
30
just
minutes
see it.
for the rest of our lives.
You guys are confusing football with basketball in some ways.
Well, okay.
Florida did have a very good run of Final Fours, back-to-back national titles in
He was
basketball.
referencing football, so I referenced.
But you went
football.
Tim Tebow and then an Iron Bowl. You just can't get the football out of you, Trey.
I miss it.
Trey's acting like me over there.
He's having
right now.
withdrawals.
So, Dad, who are you taking in your championship?
I've got Florida over Duke. Duke was my favorite team coming up as a kid. I actually loved all those bad guys like Christian Laettner. So I do have an affinity, at least for the Duke uniform. And I was a Gators fan growing up as a kid, too. So that would be an awesome final for me, just to be able to see those two teams play each other. But, yeah, I think Florida's got too much this year. So Florida. And also, you mentioned Cooper Flag, but Flag's got some injury issues.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we'll see how that all plays out for him as the tournament rolls on.
My whole bracket depends on Cooper Flag playing. If he doesn't, I have a whole different bracket there that says Cooper Flag doesn't play.
Oh, I'm sure you've got lots of versions.
I've only got 3 so far. This isn't fantasy football we're talking about today.
Well,
yeah.
and I mean, they don't need Cooper Flag in the first probably 2 rounds, but beyond that, they will.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk
That's
about
why I
this.
only have them making to the elite.
Yeah.
Elite
I mean,
8.
so this Florida team,
I mean, they're going to play this St. Francis Alabama State game winner right now that we're looking at, I think, in the first round. So,
but Florida's
which,
had.
it's got 33 seconds to go, guys. I'm watching it right now. I'll give you updates.
Yeah. I mean, Florida beat Tennessee. They beat Alabama. They beat Missouri. All of those are obviously in their they're in their division. They're playing Norfolk State in the first round, by the way. But I mean, those are some teams that are in it right now, and they're killer. And they also beat Ole Miss, who's a 6th seed in the tournament. So I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be winning at all. I mean, this team is fantastic. They started one of the two. They beat South Florida 98-83. I mean, just fantastic stuff. 14-4.
Doesn't say much to beat them.
I mean, yeah, but they're 14-4 in the conference, 1 game behind Auburn. Leading scorer Walter Clayton Jr. Rebounds led by Alex Condon. Walter Clayton Jr. again in assists. Will Richards with 1.7 steals and Alex Condon in blocks. So I mean, they've got these 2 stars out here, obviously, but they've got 4 guys who average over 10 points. their field goal percentage is fantastic, and their free throws stand to that too. So, I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't be beating everybody in this tournament. I personally believe that they should have exited the regular season as the 1 seed, but that's my personal opinion. I'm not a part of the committees. I'm just a kid with a microphone at home. But, I mean, that's our tournament right there. UC San Diego, again, I want to go back on that. They're a fantastic team. I think Yale is another team that could be getting out of the round of 32, out of the round of 64.
You think they beat Texas A&M?
I think they could. Because they were saying it right away. They're like, man, UC San Diego and Yale right next to each other. I like it. I don't see a reason why. It's the tournament. I've seen crazier things. I've seen Jack Golke get 13 3-pointers in a game. I've seen Jack Golke get on an NBA G League team now. Dude was going to be an accountant. Like, this is basketball in March.
And I stand corrected. Duke plays the winner of American and Mount St. Mary's, which is tomorrow night. But this Alabama State-St. Francis game is tied with 30 seconds to go. I'll give you updates again.
We've got one more thing to talk about. So Texas and Xavier, they were two of the teams that were expected to be a part of the first 4, but they had good regular seasons. So my question is, Trey, why do you see them getting past that? Or do you see them getting past that in the first place?
Texas and
Xavier face off tomorrow in the first 4.
Let's see. Hold on, where do I have them? I'm sorry, I don't have my whole bracket memorized. I don't even remember these two teams. Texas
Versus Xavier.
The Longhorns. They're orange.
Longhorns.
Yeah, I know. Longhorns. Excuse me.
He just did the
Ooh,
horns down.
dang.
I don't see them.
He's going to get canceled.
Am I going crazy?
Trey.
I don't see them on here.
It's because they're playing each other in the first 4. They're not a part of. They're part of the 68.
Oh.
Their first 4. So when the
I'm
winner
going
plays
crazy,
Illinois,
crazy.
they're way down at the bottom of the bracket.
See,
Texas and Xavier.
currently, according to my bracket, I have either of them. I don't care which one wins. I think either of them could beat Illinois.
What?
But I do see Kentucky beating whoever
There
that
goes
is.
Noah talking out of the side of his neck again.
This is Noah right here.
Jesus. Noah.
But
It's
it's
Illinois.
Texas. It's Texas and Xavier, two basketball.
You got to hit free throws down the stretch, Alabama State. 10 seconds to go, tie game.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's a steal. There's a scramble at midcourt. St. Francis, they booted it out of bounds.
Gosh.
2
High
seconds to
game.
go.
They're heading
All right.
overtime over there.
So while we got a little stoppage to play there, I also want to shout out Florida Gulf Coast and South Florida women.
Yeah.
Both making it into the tournament. The women's tournament is even more top-heavy than the men's. 12 seed upsets just don't happen. But both of them are in there. I think South Florida's a 12 seed, I believe, and I think Florida FGC is either 12 or
FGCU is
13.
a 14.
They're a 14, yeah.
Which is dumb.
And South Florida's a 12.
FGCU is having a rematch with Oklahoma. They went down to the wire with them in the first round last year. And South Florida's got a well-coached team. They were kind of a surprise to win the AAC. In fact, in our last broadcast, I was talking about how South Florida probably played their way out of the tournament, but then they came around and won the AAC women's tournament. So they're in. And Jose Fernandez is a great coach. He's always got a well-disciplined team. So we'll see what happens.
They're not beating Tennessee. I'm sorry.
Florida Gulf Coast last year, 73-70 against the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah.
5 seed and 12 seed. This year, 13 and 14.
There you go.
Sorry, 3 and 14.
Yep.
That is ridiculous. Florida Gulf Coast has 3 losses. 3! They have 3 losses, and they are the 14 seed. They won the ASUN. They haven't lost since December. It's been since December since they've lost.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
Noah.
they'll be in there. They're going to give it a fight.
Is my mic on?
My headphones are definitely on.
Okay. Okay, on one hand, they had 3 losses. But on the other, it's the ASUN.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure one team went 5 and 26.
Oh.
Go ahead, finish.
Continue.
I'm pretty sure one team went like 5-26.
Sure.
Right?
Florida Gulf goes 30-3. But
Excuse me, I gotta find this.
I mean, the thing that I was going to talk about on this, though, is the ridiculous fact that ESPN has them at 5% chance to win. What? Dad, give me your call on this right here. Live call on the 16.
Well, I kind of ran over Trey's take, but Alabama State had the ball under the basket. They tried like the Christian Laettner long baseball pass to the free throw line, except like 3 people challenged it, so it kind of got batted around. Here's a
3.4
replay.
seconds on the clock.
It goes through 3 people's hands to the guy with the long dreads and a ponytail. He puts it in with 0.7 seconds. So now they're up 2, and now they did a replay and they put a full second on the clock. It was 0.7. So there's 1 full second for St. Francis now. So I'm assuming they're going to turn around and do the same thing because you can't dribble. You got to throw it the length of the court and like shoot it as you catch it, pretty much.
This is
So
March.
I don't see how the Alabama State Hornets don't come out on top, but we're going to have to give the St. Francis. They're like the red something, the red alerts or something.
I will say, as a Heat fan, I know for a fact that you can just touch the ball and do a layup, Derek White. Like, gosh.
So, okay, about the A
Okay,
side.
3/4 of the court. Came short, air ball. The Hornets, they're the red flash of St. Francis. They fall to the Hornets of Alabama State. And so the Alabama State Hornets move on in the tournament, the first of the first 4 to get
Nice.
in. And their reward for this victory is they get to face the Auburn Tigers.
So, I may have underestimated the ASUN.
Yeah.
So there is a team that went 5-26. There's one. It is North Florida.
yeah.
The next team up is 10-19, Austin, PA,
Oh, yeah.
and then 3-18, 3-17, 4-17, 14-17. Sorry, 13. I meant that. And then it's winning records throughout. I underestimated it. Wow.
What was the second place team and what's their record?
23-9. That is
Austin, PA, right?
No, they were at the
C
bottom.
C Arkansas.
Central
Okay.
Arkansas.
Central Arkansas.
Yeah, okay.
Where,
I had no idea
Where
that
Dennis
was.
Rodman, I think, went to school. No, it was Oklahoma. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right.
So, with that, we're going to send you to a break real quick. We'll be right back. This is the Dynamite Sports Podcast. Okay. Trey, use my phone to research stuff because yours turns off the camera when you go to research stuff.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
So now we're talking about race.
This the feedback, like I'll say something and I'll say
You got an
something.
echo.
Yeah, I got an echo. It's giving me like a stutter.
Okay, well then take the headphones off or
Okay.
Shoot, I don't have this video uploaded. Please play this on. Yes. Thank you.
oh, we gotta wait through this video.
Well, I'm looping it right now because I forgot to add this in.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I got it on very, very quiet right now. So most of the time my camera was black.
Yeah. Forget
Yeah.
about it.
Why don't I just use Mom's computer?
You can, but the audio is going to play out loud.
Oh. Is that big of a deal?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to add this back in. Okay, add video clip. Photo library.
We're not gonna talk about the Rays at all. We're just gonna.
We are. That's where we're starting.
Oh, I thought you were gonna play it.
I am playing an audio clip, and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Like, it's so bad that I can do the one. Do you remember when we didn't have to worry? No stranger to you and me.
Stop.
Sorry. How long is this break?
It's until I finish this, because I need to upload this video to play it. Should play it out loud. Okay. I'm gonna mute your guys' microphones. Okay. So now I'm gonna do this.
The Rays are a great asset.
Somebody needs to turn off their audio right now.
I don't have audio.
How is it repeating? Oh, it's me.
Organization, we have a great farm system, we have a great product on the field, and these rumors are going to exist until there's a resolution with the stadium. And our job as an organization is to block out that noise as much as possible because we have a season to get ready for. We have to help the city of St. Petersburg fix up Tropicana Field for next year, and soon we're going to have a ballpark effort to fire back up.
That was Mark Silverman on with T-Crass on 95.3 WDAE, 620 AM radio. The Drive with T-Crass. So what that is pretty much him saying that the team is not going to be sold. And I did that in quotations for those of you who are on the video. It's not going to be sold. But for the truth of it, it's likely that he's trying to pull investors in or something. But that's I'll take him by his word for right now. Even though, as a history of being a Rays fan, I know that every word that comes out of Mark Silverman's mouth comes straight from Stu Sternberg himself. And Stu is 100% a businessman. So, what my thought of this is if there's a stadium deal, where are they going to put a stadium right now? Because we know, as Rays fans already, that the stadium deal has fallen through. Ken Walsh has said we're not paying that much this time. And the city of Tampa 100% can't pay that much because they don't have that type of investment that they have in St. Pete. In fact, Tampa can only likely pay $200 million. So the next best city would be Lakeland. And Lakeland doesn't have the major sports market that we want. So we move out of here. We can't go to the big college towns. Jacksonville doesn't have a baseball market. So the next one is Nashville.
What about Orlando?
Orlando doesn't have space. That's my argument for Orlando.
No, I think they would argue back, but go ahead.
Okay, it's Orlando. So my argument there is Nashville. In Nashville, they're building a new stadium. They're putting in the Tennessee Titans' new stadium. And how are you going to build two stadiums at the same time? Because both of them will be delayed until past the Tennessee Titans date, which right now I believe is 2028. So, with that in mind, my statement is the Rays have no choice but to stay in the Tampa Bay area. Because past that is Canada. If you're really going to make a major move, there's no reason to if you have the baseball market here. And in my opinion, as a Rays fan, I don't care what you outsiders think. The Trop fit us perfect. It worked, it had air conditioning, and it didn't kill me with the sun. So I think I'm good. Just redo the Trop like they're going to say. They say by the start of the 2026 season, we will have Tropicana Field back. Will it happen?
I love that.
I don't know if the city of St. Petersburg is willing to fight for the Rays now, but hopefully they are. Because that's what I want at this point. As a Rays fan, that's all I want. The Trop back.
If not, turn it into a museum or something.
And
that'd
really,
be amazing.
If you can start a stadium deal and make it you can't cancel this deal now and then you sell the team, Stu, I would love that, Stu. That would be amazing. Because if we stay here and Stu's out, oh man, the Rays are going to win some championships.
Yeah.
Because if we got somebody who's willing to spend money on big stars. We just got one. But are we going to get more? No. We're going to get more farm system with Stu, and we're going to get close to championships.
We're gonna get close with, well, Wander Francos that hopefully aren't Wander Franco.
Junior Caminero, I'm good
Yeah.
with that name.
Steven Sousa Juniors who were
Yeah.
just okay that we developed. Well, let's say that they do go to Canada. I want the Tropicana Field to be turned into like a museum or something, and like that like walk with all the home plates of the history of Trop of the Trop, like put that in the thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
I think I would go there multiple times. It's
I think
amazing.
Tropicana Field is too big to be a museum. It's a
Well-
good idea to turn the site because St. Petersburg is well known for its spring training. But yeah, as far as a museum, I don't think it's going to be an efficient use of that space.
Okay.
That building will need to come down if they're not playing baseball in it,
Yeah.
and we need to reclaim that area as a taxpayer who's lived here with most of his life being involved with Tropicana Field. That area is too valuable for our city and for what our city can do as far as revenue for the tax base, to just let it sit there and be a stadium that collects dust.
Yeah.
So, okay, this deal is dead.
Yes.
That's what they're saying right now. I mean, maybe it'll be revived. I don't know. But so with the deal being dead, as young people in this city that are different from old people like me, Trey, I'll give each of you a turn. Trey, what do you want to see happen with the Rays at this point?
I want them to stay here. I mean, I've never been a particularly like big baseball fan, but I still like going to games. I still like getting all the giveaways. I still like watching baseball. But like, if we can't get that, we can't get that. But I'll always be a Rays fan no matter what.
All right. Noah's going to finish his rant.
Okay.
So,
whatever.
The shelf life for a hockey or a football stadium is just about 30 years, okay? Raymond James Stadium at this point. Actually, no, we'll start with Amalie.
It's like 28.
Amalie is 27.
27. That was close.
Yeah. But Amalie is still one of the best stadiums in hockey.
Absolutely.
I have no doubt in that.
Well, they had a major remodel, I don't know, maybe a decade ago that brought it up to standard and probably gave it extended that life of a stadium.
And Raymond James Stadium is 29 currently. They did just do a smaller renovation in 2017 where they changed. If you remember, they had the old billboards and now they have the new ones.
Uh-huh.
That was the renovation, pretty much. My interesting plan for Tampa is going to have to build a new football stadium. It's inevitable. We need the cover. I would love to get me some Hard Rock Stadium down here.
Absolutely.
But if we're going to do it, I want to build it as a Tampa fan. Even though I live in St. Pete, I'll go to games. If we can build Raymond James Stadium to a point where we can hold the Rays there too, in a point where we had a hurricane and we couldn't play anymore, if we have that ability at least, I would love that.
Like a Oakland A's, Oakland Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with having another stadium here, and it doesn't need to be the highest quality or whatever. But in that case again, where the Trop goes down, we need to have that second place that isn't Yankee Stadium. Because in my opinion, I would never ever go to a Rays game in a Yankee Stadium.
Goodness, no.
Unless they can somehow make it not Yankee Stadium, I'm likely not going to a game this year.
It's interesting that you want to harken back to something like from the 70s where they were building those multi-use stadiums that could be football and baseball stadiums because they've gone away from it. And I'd be interested if the NFL would even allow their teams to entertain a stadium like that because I know there were injury risks and things with the cutout, the clay. You go back and see those images of like the Oakland Raiders playing with third base on the 40-yard line and first base on the other 40-yard line and having to run through clay and transition from different levels. I don't know if the Players Association would go for it, but it's an interesting concept, and I wouldn't have expected that from you guys to come up with something like that, a multi-use stadium.
I think that'd
And
be awesome.
something that we have now that we didn't have then is the replaceable grass. because if you remember, for every Super Bowl now they put in an entire new field, and they did that for MLS, I believe,
Yeah.
in Miami.
They just like
So,
it's just like that.
If we
instead of rolling
can
it.
do that as well, I think we're golden. I think we have the plan. I think it's here, and then we just need to put it together.
They'd have to change the footprint of Raymond James Stadium, though, if they were to do it at Raymond James. They just had that crazy Savannah Bananas game the other night, and it was like
Sold out.
What was it, like 270?
Yeah, it's like
to right
270
field?
to right
There,
field.
there would be no way that would hold up in baseball, and so you'd have to take a chunk out of the stands or create like a red monster in right field, or I don't know. There have to be some sort of weird adjustment to the stadium, but creative thought there. As the old guy at the table, at this point, the Rays have burned bridges with both the county and the city and its fan base.
Yeah.
And they're saying they're not going to sell the team if you take them at their word. I still hold out hope that they will sell the team so that we can have some sort of reopening of negotiations. As a city taxpayer, that Tropicana property, as large as it is and is centrally located in downtown, the city has to recover that at some point so that it can develop it. It can't be 80 acres of asphalt anymore. There's too many things that can happen there. Hotels, convention centers, job opportunities for people in the gas plant neighborhood who had their neighborhood taken away to create Tropicana Field in the 80s. All of those things need to happen. One thing that is interesting that has nothing to do with sports and might bore you guys to death is that if the city builds on the Tropicana Field property, like if they start building hotels on the parking lot before the contract runs out, then the Rays get 50% of the profits that come from anything on that property.
So we have to wait.
So at this point, what I would like is if this contract is going to expire, I want Mayor Welch and the city of St. Petersburg to sit on that property and not develop it. Let a year after the contract go by, and then the city can profit from everything that comes on that property. Because if it's not going to be Tropicana Field, then the city needs to have 100% of the development rights to that property.
Yeah.
I mean, you go
ahead.
first. You go
No,
first.
no, it's you.
Oh, okay. If they move too far, like let's say that they go to Ontario.
Ontario.
Tyler mispronounced it like
I know.
10 years ago, and I can't get out of my head. Anyways, if they move to, say it again,
Ontario.
Ontario. If they move to Ontario, I don't think I can be a Rays fan or a Montreal Canadiens fan or wherever they do. I think I'm gonna have to start stocking up on Braves jersey stuff, man.
You know what? I like the old Marlins helmet.
You do not
I-
want to be a Marlins fan.
I'll say one thing. I don't like the Pike helmet. I'm good with that.
Noah, look at me.
I'm good.
You don't.
I love those jerseys. I think I'm good.
Okay.
I'll buy 5 right now.
No, Noah, look at me.
Give me some of those.
You
Cuban
can
ones,
ask
the
a Marlins fan.
The red and
They betray
blue.
them
I
so
think I'm
bad.
good. I think I'm good.
So bad.
No. I'm a Rays fan. I think I'm good.
Luis Arez or whatever. Giancarlo
Evan
Stanton.
Longoria. All right.
Well, we're not going to solve this problem ourselves. We're not powerful enough.
Think
but-
about how many Marlins have been traded.
I just want to talk about baseball again.
Sorry.
I just want to talk about baseball.
Trey was getting there. He's talking about players that got traded, right?
What was the MLB The Show guy? What was his name? He got traded to the Yankees. There's a whole list.
You're
Hold on,
talking
let me
about,
research.
Okay. So
Never mind.
we'll move on. So now we're going to talk about Bucks free agency. We'll get on to some
Yeah.
sports now.
Yeah.
Bucks made some big moves. We talked about Bucks need an edge rusher. That was our big one.
Yeah.
Solves a lot of the problems.
Guess what, guys? They got an edge rusher.
Yeah, we did.
And
a good one.
Yeah, they did. Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
You know what? I hope that Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, and Hassan Reddick, and for that fact, I don't even care where Zach Wilson is. I hope all of them have career years because I just don't like the Jets. You know what? Just have it. If I was the Bucks fan, I would want Hassan Reddick to have his 20 sacks and break Shaq Barrett's record. Like,
Dude.
And you know what? If that happened, I would be
Okay.
so ready for next
So,
season because we're winning a
on
Super
one
Bowl.
hand-
Like,
On one hand, I don't like the Jets either. I don't like most teams from that Upper Peninsula. The Bills are okay. But think about what that would do to Jets fans. The amount of suffering they've had, and then all of their players that they spent probably $300 million on.
yeah.
More than that, actually. Because of think about like all of the people that they made Aaron Rodgers sign. Or all the Aaron Rodgers, whatever. That would be so bad. They would like I don't know what I would do if I was a Jets fan and that happened. I don't know.
All right, well, we're talking about the Bucks,
Sorry.
and we
Sorry,
ended up
my
on
bad,
a Jets
my bad,
rant.
my
So,
bad.
All right.
good rant, Trey. But like one of the things we were really hoping for a trade for Myles Garrett. I know at one point, but I just came across this stat from 2020 to 2023. So we're leaving out last year, but from 2020 to 2023, the top 4 sackers in the NFL are T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, and Hassan Reddick, number 4. All right.
'Cause
So
he was
last
so
year,
good with
last
the
year was a bit of
Eagles.
a wash. He really didn't want to be in New York. He didn't even start playing until like October or something like that. So it's kind of a loss, but he seems genuinely happy to be here. I would be excited to play on the same line as Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea because that's going to draw a lot of double teams. This could be exciting, and it also makes our defensive backs look a lot better because they're not going to have to hold their coverage as long because Hassan Reddick is going to be breathing down on one side and Yaya Diaby on the other.
And speaking of defensive backs, Kendall Vildor from Detroit got added on. He's mostly a rotational corner for Detroit, but he had to step in, obviously, when they had the giant injury.
Yeah.
And he did just fine. He played very well against Michael Pittman Jr. From the Colts. So he'll be a good rotational guy to add in,
We got a punter.
mostly on the outside.
Thank
Yes.
God. Thank God.
Riley Dixon. What a guy.
Jesus.
Hey, for a team that likes to play defense, that's important to have a good punter.
And another secondary add today, actually, they added back Bryce Hall. Anthony Walker, another rotational guy, will likely be getting starts for the Bucks.
I'm curious. I don't know much about him. Like all the articles I find say not much about him. He went to Northwestern and he played for the Dolphins.
Well-
So KJ Britt was a downhill like thumper, old school middle linebacker. You've got like Servassier Dennis, who's more of a sideline to sideline kind of guy.
got
Some guys are
Levante,
coverage
who's-
guys. So what is Anthony Walker like? What kind of linebacker is he? Anybody know?
I would say he's more coverage. But what I love about this guy, because I have to use the word
'Cause
love.
KJ Britt didn't fit in
I
our
always
defense.
have to use the word love. I'm just reminding you guys. He reminds me of Levante. But he's not going to...
Here we go again.
This is like his third team. I don't think he's Levante.
But he's not Levante, obviously. But he was hurt last year, and that was part of the reason why he didn't get a lot of starts. He had high hopes there. He'll have high hopes here too. Another guy that we added back, Charlie Heck. I'll just list them: Sterling Shepard, Kyle Trask, Anthony Nelson, Greg Gaines, Godwin, and David, and then obviously Hassan Reddick. But out of all these guys, the interesting one to me, at least as a Bucks fan, is the addition back of Anthony Nelson, because I personally thought he was going to go somewhere and get some money, because he's a fantastic rotational linebacker for us, but I thought he could start somewhere else.
I thought he could too.
But
Linebackers and edge rushers are desperate, man.
it'll be great to see him back. I'm the happiest Bucks fan ever because Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is a Cleveland Brown.
Where he deserves to be.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I want to call timeout. We got to go back. You glossed over the fact that we re-signed Levante David, first of all.
Yeah.
Future Hall of Famer, back on a one-year contract. We thought he'd probably retire. The Bucks decided to give enough money to stay. So that allows us to build a bridge. Servassier Dennis got injured last year. We're still going to need to find someone else to play in that off-ball linebacker position. Anthony Walker, nice depth piece, not going to replace Levante David.
Nope.
We got to start building for the future. Then you glossed over Chris Godwin resigned.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Noah.
Jeez.
Here's like Levante David, Chris Godwin. Like, whoa, slow down, bro. Like,
Slay your horses, dog.
and I know you guys were taking offense because people, when Jamar Chase got his contract, people are saying that like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL. And I know Tyler, like 2 years ago, took some heat on Twitter, when it was Twitter, from some Bengals fans because he was arguing that Evans and Godwin, along with Antonio Brown at the time, were the best receiver group in the NFL. I definitely think we should be in that conversation. It's not a slam dunk. I mean, T. Higgins and Jamar are good. Mike is old. Godwin's coming off an injury, but they're still great. And we got Jalen McMillan coming up. So, but man, Godwin is such a great piece, so valuable. You know, he's already proven he can come back from injury once. I know he's a hard worker, so he's going to come back from that injury, and our offense is looking.
I got three
really
things
good.
to say.
Uh,
I got three things.
you go first. You go first. Fine.
Chase, Brace,
Oh God.
Evans in 5.
Oh, jeez. What?
That was not. What I
Doesn't really
expected.
work that way, but okay.
Okay.
What you got, Trey?
What has T. Higgins done? What has he done?
Higgins, Briggins, Godwin in 5.
Okay, stop. just no. $5 something. I don't know.
Yeah, you
What,
owe me
what
5.
has he done? I mean, Jamar Chase got the Triple Crown. He's probably the best in the league, best wide receiver in the league. I think you could argue, definitely argue. What has T. Higgins done? I'm trying to think.
You know what? He had one play, and I'll remind you of this, and hopefully I'll be able to play it later on. But Higgins caught the ball, and he was going this way, and he turned his arm this way, and he scored it. That's the big play from T. Higgins that got him a contract.
Okay, but 115 million, 14 maybe.
Yeah. Well,
That's what a 10-year-old does on Madden 20.
Well, the Bengals still don't have anybody to play defense right now, so that's going to be a problem.
Don't give a wide receiver 2 who maybe gets 900 yards a year ish, right?
Yeah.
With consistent injuries, you don't give him $100 million. Especially when the defense was the biggest problem and you've let like everyone walk out there. You have no corners. You have no one. Name one person on the Bengals defense currently.
I got you. Trey Hendrickson.
Leader in sacks. He's okay, whatever. One more.
Okay. Sam Hubbard. You're messing with me, Trey.
Okay, whatever.
Should have asked
Fine.
Dad.
All right, and then one other signing that I think is going to be much more important than it looks like on paper, re-signing guard Ben Bredesen to bring back all 5 O-linemen from a team that ran the ball down everyone's throat. That's huge. I just hope they all can stay healthy. Bredesen, of course, was probably the 5th most well-known and maybe the 5th best of the group. But man, they had some synergy and they could maul people. And he is a road grader. He is a run blocker, and it's great to have him back and not have to rely on someone like Robert Hainsey, who signed with Jacksonville.
Yeah. I'll say about Bredesen, he wasn't that bad. I mean, he wasn't bad at all. He was good. And this is the only duo in the NFL last year, running back wise, to have 1,000+ scrimmage yards each, I believe, from a stat that I saw on my phone. So, but they were fantastic. Rashad has the size, and Bucky has the absolute speed. So behind this 5, Barton in his second year, coming off a fantastic rookie season.
Absolutely fantastic.
Gadecki, who is underrated in every sense of the term. Wirfs, who could end his career as the best tackle of all time.
Absolutely.
On the track he's at. Mausch, who looks like a Viking out of a Disney movie.
Ryan Jensen too.
Oh, yeah. Point 2. Yep. And, of course, Bredesen. This is a great offensive line group is what I'm trying to say. And they're going to be much better in their second year together.
Absolutely.
But much more importantly, I think that means that every single starter from last year is back, with the exception of, I guess, was Joe Tryon the starting outside linebacker?
Oh.
Hassan Reddick is the only new starter, so 21 out of 22 starters.
Especially
I don't
because
care.
I'll
that's
take
great
that upgrade
because
over whoever he's
Joe
starting
Tryon
over.
did nothing.
And if we're going to call KJ Britt a starter, then you've lost your mind and you have never heard of the name Dennis.
No, so RCA
Number
Dennis started at the
Like-
beginning of the year, so he's a starter and he's returning. I can't wait to see more than 2 games out of him. The only person that I'm mildly sad about losing is Tavier Thomas because, I mean, he didn't do much in the defensive backfield, but he's a heck of a special teams player. Did like him, but, he got paid in Minnesota. Good for him.
Good for him.
So let me run down the remaining unrestricted free agents for the Bucs. We got Shaq Barrett, who came back, and we don't really know what he's got left in the tank. Didn't get to contribute very much down the stretch.
I feel so bad for him.
Chase Edmonds, who was injured and didn't really contribute anyway. Mike Edwards, who we re-signed toward the end of the year for depth. You got Will Golston, who's a lifer of a Buck player. You got Troy Hill, Ryan Neal, Royce Newman, and Sua Opeta, 2 backup offensive linemen.
Sua Opeta?
Yeah.
I have never heard of this man.
I think I heard he's Villa de Vea's distant cousin. And then Jordan Whitehead, who is also recovering from that car accident. So of that group, I mean, there's nobody there that I'd be like pounding the table. We got to bring back. I mean, my heart would love to see Will Golston back in the Bucs uniform.
We love
Mike
Will
Edwards
Golston.
is a ball hawk. Jordan Whitehead can hit when he's not wrecking his car. So we've got some good guys there, but nobody that I'm pounding the table for. Anybody for you guys?
I want to see Opeta back because he was on that. He wasn't a starter, but he was a rotational guy for the Eagles. So good offensive lineman, and he played with the Jason Kelsey, Mailata, that whole group right there.
Lane, whatever.
Yes, and
Yeah.
they brought in a guy to replace him. I mean, 6 starts in 13 games in 2023. He's not bad. He's not bad, but he's a good rotational guy, and I could see him taking our special teams stuff. And I don't like to see special teams mistakes. I'll say that. So I mean, no reason not to bring him back.
But I think one of the things that this does is that it takes all of the urgency out of the NFL draft coming up for the Bucs.
Yes.
We still have positional needs, but they are depth needs, and they are positions.
What? You're good.
Did your camera go out?
No.
No, we need things for depth,
Yeah.
but we don't need anybody for a
That's-
a must come in and start first day. Now, in the first round, we still could get someone that could come in and start the first day, but that'd be great because it'd be bumping a starter to a depth position. So we're in a position where we can really draft from whatever strength is there. We don't have to jump up and do anything crazy. I think probably we're going to get into more draft coverage.
Yes,
but I would
in the
say
coming days we'll
in
get
our
some more.
conversations we've had, we're definitely wanting to look for that successor for Levante David. We're looking for the successor for Mike Evans. We're looking for depth pieces and people that can come along. So that'll be a good opportunity for us.
That's kind of how the last few guys have won the last few championships, with a really, really depthy team.
Yeah, and the thing with not having a next guy in line for Levante is I don't like just taking a guy straight out of the draft. We saw it with Sam Darnold. Obviously, a guy who's a rookie isn't going to be a number 1 starter on a team. It's not going to happen. So, in that case, I want to see another great. What am I saying? I want to see another great linebacker come through Tampa, or another great receiver, and to do that, my ultimate goal is Jihad Campbell, because the way we drafted Levante is we drafted him and put him at outside linebacker. Jihad does that, and if we do that, then we're going to see Levante take off some reps, and we'll see Jihad take some outside linebacker where he's belonging as of right now to start it as a Buck.
Okay, well, we're getting into draft analysis.
Yeah.
And that's
We'll
supposed to be
hold
our
that
next
back.
episode. So just,
Do we have any other free agent takes around the NFL?
No.
what about you, Trey? It sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
you might.
Myles Garrett, what are you doing? What are we doing? You could get the same bag. I respect getting that big amount of money. I absolutely get it. Money is money, moolah is moolah, but you could get that and more with a ring, or at least a divisional championship. But you're the Browns still? Seriously? Do you like that organization? What about it? They
Making it.
signed a predator for $1 billion.
And he had a little press conference where he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so happy to be back with the Browns." You should have been just like, "Hey guys, I got paid." Like,
That's why you're staying.
yeah.
And also, I feel
And
like,
I mean, how much? I don't know what percentage of their salary cap, but they've got their salary cap basically tied up in 2 guys, and one of them is hanging by a thread.
Yeah. I mean, this is stupid. You go out in public and say, "I'm quitting my job." Like, if a normal person says that, they're fired on the spot.
absolutely.
And Myles Garrett gets to go ahead and say, "Yeah, I'm back, guys. Hey, how you doing?" He's back at work. Like, what? How do you think his teammates are going to feel? I quit, and now I'm back? I
Agreed.
think it's stupid.
Browns,
It's-
you sell the team. Or terminate it. Either
I-
one.
And I think it's dumb that a team like the Browns, who has a history of being bad, isn't going to go ahead and try again to create a future. Because they almost were there. Baker was just close enough that they should have kept him. But, of course, they were like, let me go get our vet. Because if you think about it, the Carolina Panthers were about to do that last year. They were about to quit on Bryce Young. But they decided, oh, let's learn from the Browns. Nobody had learned from the Browns yet. Because in history of the NFL, we'll always remember the days of Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, and Brett Favre as backups. That's how I'm going to end this podcast. Thank you all for listening.
I still have more.
Oh, it's fine, Trey. This is the Dynamite Sports Podcast. Thank you for listening. We'll see you later.